Do you recognize this church? Do you remember? We've been on a journey of faith together, and it all started with a dream. In 2002, a dream team formed by Session developed a plan to enhance and improve our facilities. This plan was presented for approval to the congregation, and the dreams and vision of the dream team now became the dreams and vision for us all. The overwhelming approval by the congregation allowed us to launch our first successful capital campaign, A Time to Grow. We were able to renovate and expand our office space, main entrance and narthex, library, nursery school entrance, fellowship hall, and the kitchen. We also replaced or upgraded our firewalls, sprinkler system, and the smoke detection system. These improvements have made our building more accessible, more functional, and in compliance with the state and local building codes. The improvements to the building have given us an important resource to use in our ministry. The total cost of the building project was approximately $1.2 million. With the generous support of our members, our first campaign was very successful. We were able to raise $451,930. To put this number in perspective, this amount was 3.5 times our annual giving. The amount raised also enabled us to qualify for a low-interest loan. In 2008, we had our second capital campaign, A Time of Promise, which was also successful. The amount raised, $274,119, was a little over 2 times our annual giving. The money raised from A Time of Promise helped us to reduce the balance on the mortgage and interest. At the end of 2011, we anticipate raising $735,000. Our remaining balance would be approximately $660,000, which is the goal for the final leg of our journey. Achieving this goal will not burden our operating budget in the years to come. Our current debt situation does not provide us the financial stability that we seek. Our remaining debt on the building is $661,328. This money is in addition to our current operating budget. It is important for the ministry and the mission of Northminster that we raise as much money as possible to get our church out from under the burden of debt payments as soon as we can. For example, if we were able to raise $340,000, which is half of our current debt in the next 3 years, we would save $131,219 in interest and be able to pay off our loan 4.5 years early. Northminster Presbyterian Church has been blessed with an abundance of resources, an inspirational and loving pastor, faithful members like you, gifted staff and leaders, facilities that help us reach out to our community. As we stand together in a time of harvest, we cannot let the balance of our debt hold us back. We need to pay off as much of the debt as we can through this 3-year capital campaign. Ours is an ongoing story, and we are asking you to prayerfully step out in faith and give with a joyous heart as we continue our journey of faith together. How can you determine the amount of your commitment? Pray about it. Consider what sacrificial giving would be for you. Leave room for faith. Remember, this amount is a 3-year commitment above our regular giving. It's not equal giving, it's equal sacrifice. As members of Northminster Presbyterian Church, we commit ourselves to Christ with our prayers, our presence, our gifts, our service, and our witness. God calls us to give sacrificially. We are also called to go and make disciples. Having our Northminster house in order will enable us to have a stronger impact outside our walls to serve God in our community. As a result of the New Beginnings process, we have developed a long-range plan for our church. We held group discussions, we listened, we gathered, and we prayed. There's been a spiritual awakening and a growing sense of excitement that greater things are yet to come, and greater things are still to be done here. Our ability to fulfill our mission depends on having the facilities and the financial stability to reach deep into our community, helping people make a life-changing connection with God. Pastor Karen and Session have adopted a new mission statement that defines Northminster as a people of God. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Hi, I'm Karen Diamond, pastor of Northminster Presbyterian Church. I've been pastor here for 10 years. It's been an exciting time for all of us. We all know that these are challenging and uncertain times, especially in terms of the economy. But like the Israelites that lived so long ago, they were uncertain where their next meal would come from. They didn't know if they would die of thirst or of hunger, but they trusted that God would provide. Moses and the elders prayed to God, and then they moved out in faith. They searched, and then they acted. And during their struggle, they realized that God was with them, and they weren't afraid. They moved from fear and panic to true thanksgiving. For those of you who have joined us since we completed our renovation and expansion project, you've been able to see the results of the faithfulness of our members as we push forward into the future. You've been able to see our resolve to fulfill the ministry here at Northminster Presbyterian Church. Now is the time of promise, when we hope to significantly reduce our debt so that we might be able to continue to grow in our ministry and make a difference in the members' lives who attend here, as well as in the community and in our world. I know that when we look at the gap between the resources and the needs that we have, the task can seem somewhat daunting. But our scriptures tell us how God is faithful, and when we put God in the equation, people are willing to trust the movement of God. They are willing to step out in faith and sacrifice and cooperate so that God's will can be fulfilled. And they move from fear and apprehension to giving with joyful hearts. When we put God in the equation, we can do far more than we think is possible. God expands our limits, and we can accomplish far more than we would ever imagine. That's how God works. My friends, I invite you to pray how God is working in your life and what He is calling you to do. how He is asking you to make a sacrifice for Northminster Presbyterian Church and for the important ministry that we carry out here. I will be praying with you along the way.